We live in an allegorical universe and an analogical world. Everything in nature is representative of a more noumenal reality that stands behind it and informs it on a higher plane. And this relationship is repeated at least 7 times until the seminal idea from which it sprang is dissolved into the one. This process is symbolized by a drop of water slipping into the shining sea. In other words, everything in nature is representative. It is representative of ideas and forces on levels of being corresponding to unmanifest planes of being. Ancient Egyptians knew this when they reverenced the sun and the moon. Ancient Indians knew this when they reverenced the lotus and the cow. Ancient Mayans knew this when they reverenced the jaguar and the hummingbird. Norse people knew this when they reverenced the sea and the sky. Zulu cultures knew this when they reverenced the lakes and the rivers. What all these symbols have in common is that they are drawn from observations in nature by men and women of awakened spiritual perception. Indigenous peoples often know what modern man has long forgotten, namely that nature is a dynamic march of sacred symbols, bridging the visible with the invisible. Ancient wisdom teaches that there are 7 planes of existence. This is mirrored in the 7 layers of the skin, the 7 colors of the rainbow, the 7 notes in the scale, the 7 days in the week, the 7 seas, and the 7 continents. We are told that within each one of these primary planes, the full range of planes are mirrored again, and within these subplanes, the 7ing continues. This leads to a complex notion of worlds within worlds, all living and existing in coordination with each other. The ancient Greeks mused that man is the microcosm of the macrocosm. Nature mirrors the cosmos. Man mirrors nature. This trinity is mirrored in the Holy Tetractys. The Pythagoreans also gave us the axiom, as above, so below. What is above is formless, archetypal, causal, spiritual, and essential. What is below is formed, typal, material, instantiated, and temporal. But the latter symbolizes the former. They are connected, intertwined. One is representative, the other sovereign. Hence the inspired words of Herman Melville. O nature, O soul of man, how far beyond all utterance are your linked analogies. In our Theosophical studies, we talk about the building of the Antaskarana bridge between the higher and the lower man. We hear about the whispering of Buddhi to Manas, and a communication between our own immortal and mortal nature. Yet all around us, everywhere in nature, within and without, in the high and the low, wherever we are, wherever we see, all contains symbols of nature, calling out to us, beckoning us to commune with the divine. The whispering of Buddhi to Manas is the rhythmic chant of nature. A symbol is the ladder that leads back to its source, and this is precisely why it is sacred. It is a window, a portal, a pathway that begins in the visible and chases the horizon into the invisible. The capacity to draw meaning from a symbol is a distinctly spiritual enterprise. One need not have a PhD or an advanced degree to partake in this endeavor. One need not have read ancient books in the original dialect or attended seminars at prestigious universities to plumb the depths of nature's sacred symbols. It is an activity as old as man and as young as the magnolia flower opening at its first light. No, all one needs is time and love. Modern man, all too often, has lost the inclination to ponder, to ruminate, to contemplate. We are blind to the symbols all around us. The teachings of the Gita and the voice of the silence remind us that what ails us is an overheated desire mind, a mind hyperactive with likes and dislikes, getting and spending, and an intoxicating demand for ever more sensory stimulation. Little time is provided for turning inward, for solitude, contemplation, reflection, and meditation. For the spiritual aspirant, symbols play a role in all these activities. A symbol will not reveal its secrets to the distracted heart or the wandering mind. It awaits the beloved, the devoted, the committed. Nature, while being a symbol, is also a mother. She is sustainer. She feeds us, she clothes us, she shelters us, as well as guides us. Ancient spiritual traditions all drew their inspiration from nature. And it follows that the right mental posture to begin the journey into nature's hidden secrets is one of gratitude for all of these reasons. The Plains Indians of North America believed that everything in nature had a spirit. All the animals, all the plants, rivers, rocks, streams, and all human beings had a spirit within. Their goal was to work together with these spirits rather than to control them. A ritual of gratitude was performed before any animal hunt. Unsuccessful hunts were often attributed to insufficient gratitude on the part of the tribe concerning the sacrifices required of the buffalo they believed. 8P Blavatsky told us that sacred symbols were not invented for the amusement of the ignorant. She said that they are the alpha and omega of philosophic thought. Symbols are seed ideas intended to be planted in the devoted heart and the curious mind. The seed is watered with attention. Anyone can do this. A child can do this. Those who are patient and persistent are rewarded with flashes of insight, new vistas, progressive awakenings that involves internal conversations between Buddhi and Manas. This activity is the source of poetry when it goes deep. It is the foundation for art when the act is inspired. The sun is a symbol. The moon is a symbol. The ocean is a symbol. The mountain is a symbol. The forest is a symbol. Birth is a symbol. Death is a symbol. The lion is a symbol. The bison, a symbol. The elephant, a symbol. The cheetah, a symbol. The crocodile, a symbol. The serpent is a symbol. Day and night are symbols. The cell is a symbol. The human body is a symbol. The hand is a symbol. The diamond is a symbol. The lotus, a symbol. A seed is a symbol. The flower is a symbol. The rose is a symbol. The earth is a symbol. The air, a symbol. The water, a symbol. The fire is a symbol. The circular form of the earth is a symbol.
Learn from these facets of nature. Though trampled on by all, Be firm in your adversity, like the earth itself. From these mountains, which hold their mineral and other resources for the welfare of the world, learn that you must live for others and not for yourself. Like the wind, you must be able to pass through unhindered, all-pervasive, touching everything, yet itself untouched. The sky is verily the shining paradigm of the yogin. You must be limpid, pure, purifying, pleasing, and refreshing, like water. Effulgent with the luster of wisdom, like the fire that reduces to ashes all impurity. Like the python, lie still and take only what comes to you. And when nothing comes, fast, as the python does. Like the sea, deep and unfathomable, neither be swollen by what flows into you, nor depleted by what is withdrawn from you. Like the bee, take in little by little, and from the good and bad alike, extract the essence, even as the bee gathers honey.
Everything that we need lies right before us, all around us and within us. This magnificent passage contains within it all the wisdom any human being might need to traverse the hills and valleys of a given human life. Here are a few humble reflections on the verse. Just before delivering these words, Krishna presages the statement with these words: "The wise exalt themselves through self-endeavor," meaning you are the pilot of your ship. It is up to you. Our progress depends upon self-induced and self-devised efforts. He goes on to say,
The self is the guru par excellence.
Which means that the spiritual path is essentially a path of self-discovery. It is a journey of ever-increasing self-reliance. And then he begins the soliloquy.
Learn from these facets of nature. Though trampled on by all,
The Tao Te Ching says, the great Tao flows everywhere, to the left and to the right. The 10,000 things rely upon it, and it never turns away from them. It does its work quietly and claims no credit. It clothes and feeds the 10,000 things, yet it does not claim to be their lord. It may be called the great because it makes no effort to be great. It is therefore extremely great.
be firm in your adversity, like the earth itself.
The one quality that must be established from the first is persistence. We must stay with it. The earth persists in circling the sun. The earth is not deterred in its path. Perhaps this is one idea we can extract from the expression firmness in adversity.
From these mountains, which hold their mineral and other resources for the welfare of the world, learn that you must live for others and not for yourself.
This is self-explanatory. The quest of the Buddha was not to attain enlightenment, but rather to abate human suffering. The goal of Plato was not to outshine his peers, but rather to guide his pupils towards knowledge. The voice of the silence echoes this idea when it recounts Lord Buddha's sublime renunciation. For others' sake, this great reward I yield. How is it possible to make a sacrifice of this magnitude without hundreds of lives filled with thousands of small sacrifices made on behalf of our fellow man?
Like the wind, You must be able to pass through unhindered, all-pervasive, touching everything, yet itself untouched.
The loving grandmother creates an atmosphere of benevolence that engulfs the child. The child feels the warmth, the sincerity, the conviction of her commitment toward her welfare. This goodwill is all-pervasive and unhindered. This ability to touch everything with benevolence while requiring no recompense, untouched, just might be the best definition of what it means to be truly human.
The sky is verily the shining paradigm of the yogin.
The yogin possesses perspective. She has the long view. There is a sense of elevation and breadth like the sky. The perspective is universal, total, whole, all-embracing, like the sky. The yogin is subtle, supportive, over-brooding. The sky appears to be quite distant, but it is also all around us, like the Mahatmas that watch over the progress of humanity.
You must be limpid, pure, purifying, pleasing, and refreshing, like water.
The high mountain lake is limpid. You can see straight through to the bottom, which is reminiscent of sincerity and humility, which are both transparent. It is impartial and glistens. That is, while it reflects. It is pure, and what is pure is purifying. Water is the universal solvent. It cleans while it renews. Water is gentle. Water is strong. Water is life-giving and death-dealing.
Effulgent with the luster of wisdom, like the fire that reduces to ashes all impurity.
Fire produces light and heat. Light symbolizes knowledge. Heat represents compassion. The disciple must stoke the fires of devotion to purify the heart, to strengthen the mind. This cannot happen without burning away the impurities of separative selfhood. Tapas is the fire of endeavor. It is the creative suffering of those who are determined.
Like the python, lie still and take only what comes to you. And when nothing comes, fast as the python does.
The disciple trusts in karma, trusts in the universe, trusts her own capacity to grow and endure. This trust produces patience, exemplified by the python.
Like the sea, deep and unfathomable, neither be swollen by what flows into you, nor depleted by what is withdrawn from you.
Nature proceeds in cycles. We see this in every corner of life, in the large and in the small. So why fight the tide? It's coming in. Life gives and life takes away. There's no room for argument. So when the wave arrives, then ride it in. When it is absent, return to python mode. Sages tell us we are now living our eternal lives. Why hurry? Turn inward and wait.
Like the bee, take in little by little, and from the good and bad alike, extract the essence, even as the bee gathers honey.
Mother Nature teaches us through her living symbols the lesson of little by little. Great trees grow little by little. Mountains are formed little by little. Great oceans are filled little by little. The baby grows little by little, and correspondingly, the disciple of divine wisdom advances little by little, even as the bee gathers honey. Okay, we did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Thank goodness.
And we did it well enough that I'm happy with what we have. And let me stop the recording.